What's going on? Keep it real. No cuts and everything. What's going on, guys? Gonna be Donnie coming to you from Pinku Style Podcast Studio. Got my guy Lex King here. This is a State of the Drift Union. We had to get this in because of the fiasco that's going on online. I read some comments and everything. I've seen a few mechanics post. Then I've seen who was it? Literal posted up, and then a bunch of people went there, but I didn't really read too much. But it seemed like a lot of people were for it, man. So what we're gonna be banging on this whole podcast is just the new or not so new format for the FD rules for 2003, which is gonna get straight to action.
2024.
My bad.
I was at 2003. God damn.
This is gonna be Long Beach, not at Sakuma. So I'm fucked up with that stuff, man. So yeah, man. Again, and with this, man, for the guys who first time tuning in, this is my guy Lex King again, California resident. He's had a lot of boots on the ground experience with FD, so no other person qualified to speak on it, and also not somebody that's bought by anybody. So it's gonna be the real shit. All right, so with that, and I already cussed in the first 10 minutes, so whatever about the money. But but yeah, man, Lex again, man. This again, thanks for the time, man. And have you we spoke a little bit offline, man. As far as the format and everything, you said they've kind of been talking on and off about bringing it back and everything. So what have you, what you can speak on? I'm not looking for names and stuff like that. Like how long has this been in the works, man, for them to go to this format?
I mean, for years they've tried to take out the most boring part of professional drifting, and that's admittedly the qualifying runs. Solo runs are cool if somebody's going to do something cool. Right. Solo runs and qualifying aren't cool because guys are trying to make it into the show, right, and they're trying to drive within a format. So the qualifying has always been on the chopping block, to be honest. It was a point in time where you went off of how you were seated, or not seated, but placed in the standings. They tried that one year. It's just always been a push to get qualifying out the way, to get more competitive drifting happening, more tandems, and get the show on the road. So run of show has always been a focal point with Formula D.
So we got playing right here, guys. It's just the actual, like, the live was the ads right now, but I pulled up 2003 for Long Beach. So for the guys who are just new to this, again, you can see right down the bottom with the ads and everything. That's about a 2 hour and 47 minutes for the pro class. Remember, remember too, you've got pro spec, you got two of those and everything. So to be blunt, man, to be honest, if it's like if you're not there qualifying, it is boring. Like if you got a driver there, I can understand you're invested, you're into it. Again, you've been there with JTP, so you're invested into the qualifying. Hey, how did he do? How's this guy doing? Where we're going to place? Where we're going to seed? But when you're watching, you're like, all right, dude, smoke tires, V8s, okay, and you're about over it.
I mean, but then also, you may have watched a guy, and this is for like onlookers in the crowd. You may have watched a guy that you came to watch, right? He's been having a great time in practice. He's been having great runs in practice. He could have been killing it in practice. Comes to qualifying, and he's a nervous mess, or he's not the greatest qualifying driver. He's out of here. Qualifying is trash. All the qualifying runs is garbage. You don't get to really see your driver do any driving. Right. So that's kind of what they're aiming to do. The long and short of it is, first round, they cannot implement the new stuff because there's no points.
Right.
First round guys come in, everybody battles, right? They do their thing. They have this thing they're calling seeded, right? So the top 32 bracket gets populated by a seeding bracket based on the number of drivers at the event. Right. So everybody battles in the position. You go through that event. Now you got points. Now you got your top 24 guys. The top 24 guys, they're going to be the seeded drivers. And then 8 guys will battle after that. But that depends on that's kind of the point where it might get a little cloudy to certain people.
Right.
That don't know, because nobody knows the entry of drivers unless you're there. So the entry of drivers depicts what type of battle they're going to be doing.
Mm.
So you've got 41 drivers or more. You've got less than your 41. Um, they have it broken down in tiers like that. But the first one, you got battles. The top 16 drivers are seeded. Then you've got another battle, which gets the other 16, and then you fill your 32. Then after the first round, you got your 24, and then you battle 8. And those 8 go in, and you battle 16, and then 8 fills your 32, so
Right.
on and so forth. All it does is just make the battles the main part of the show,
Right.
not solo runs.
Because admittedly, like the solo runs, if we look at it, like the solo, barring like mechanicals or something like that, the qualifying, if I'm correct, always is longer than the actual event, actual main thing, correct? Or is it about the?
So as we all know that watch live stream and those that go to events, it's a long time frame.
Right.
If you're at home watching live stream, you can watch the first part of the event,
Yeah.
go do whatever, build a car, and then come back and then watch the top 16 to the finals. Imagine that day out there at the track. It's the same thing. You're there all day in the sun, all kind of downtime, and not enough battles. So it's really all about clearing out that qualifying one car for 3 hours.
Mm. So
It
I mean,
just gets you tandem battles.
so I mean, what's your experience, man? This get straight to the point with that. What your experience is that like is this deal a better deal or not? Like just straight up across the board.
Okay, so let's just call drivers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's just say you got a Kyle Mohan, right? Kyle Mohan doesn't have to sit there and struggle on trying to get in the show. Kyle Mohan just straight gets to battles.
Mm.
If he doesn't make it in the show, he doesn't make it in the show from battles.
Right.
If he doesn't make it in the show from single qualifying, that's a heartbreaker too.
Right.
But when you get there, say you make it in 32, you already know you're going against your number one seed. So you're gonna get smooth. You're gonna get cleaned out anyway because 32 goes to 1.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And then with that
So
too, like another thing too is like I would guess like damn, I forgot. With the Chelsea stepping back, and then I'd seen he post he gonna be back. We already know Jessica's gonna come back. He's taking care of some stuff. I don't know him personally, but he's a young guy. He's not going to sit on the sideline that long. But him being a champ, for example, he's a champ, but he's not. He's not there this season supposedly. So I guess the seat number 2 would naturally default to second place. So number 2 would be seated at number 1. So that him stepping away kind of probably messed up things a little bit as far as how they're going to see people. And then so you said they're not going to use last year's results to seed.
round 1, yeah. See, so we did that one year. I forgot what year it was. I think it was like 16.
Right.
Guys went with their the previous year's standing to how they would go in through building the bracket. And then they went from the round winners, the brackets for the next round, and so on and so forth.
Right.
So there's a way that they're going to do it is you come in, you got your 16 seeded, then you have 16 battles. Those battles are going to fill the 16, and there you go. You're going to have your top 32. Then you go from there. So after that, then you have the next round 2, you should have 24 seeded drivers, the top 24, and then you battle 16 guys for 8.
Right.
And depending on entry of drivers, that's how they determine which bracket they're going to use. But the bracket's just set up all for competitive drifting
Right.
the whole way. You're going to get in the show by drifting in the show,
Right.
and not just a tensile. You're going to go do a tandem situation battle your way in. So it's pretty sick.
Now,
I like it.
is there anybody else that because I haven't done I admittedly got so real quick guys. I mean we just talking candidly right here. We're not gonna go line for line because this shit could change by the third week. You know how shit goes with rules. So Formula Drift, FormulaDrift.com. Go there, click on the rules. It's the first link there. You click on it, and then you opens up the PDF. You got, and it's a small file, so you can look at it on your phone. It took me like a second to get to it. So there's a lot of stuff in there. I mean, naturally, the guys who are going to be drifting definitely need to, read and study and know how, and not because it's a game too. It's going to be a game within the game and all that stuff there. So you got to know what the rules are and the stipulations, what you can and can't do. It might affect like the mechanical. What's that? When they get like their I'm pretty sure it's in here, but I didn't look it up. They might, when they have a mechanical, if somebody crashes into somebody, maybe the time is going to be different. Did you read everything or just like you just kind of?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how are they going to work? Like a guy smashes into a wall before you
there are no buy runs.
Right. So you just straight elimination. Yeah, so I see it right there. So, like, if you're not ready, dude, it's going to be, at first I'm like, fuck, because, I mean, looking at a guy like myself who just went to Okinawa and they had a field of 50 drivers, and I finished, like, 41st, man, because I just had a borrowed car and some other stuff, and it just was what it was, but it was still a cool trip. But, you know what I mean? And it's like, I had other aspirations there. It wasn't a large buy-in, but, I mean, flying there, it's, so that weekend – cost me like what, maybe I don't know, maybe 3-4K. Not saying that's a throwaway, but it was the other part of promotion and meeting some guys down there. That was successful, so it was a cool trip. But Ben and I went to Okinawa, did some other stuff and everything. I'm wondering how this is going to affect Pro Spec, and then also you already know this is going to trickle down until this is going to become. It seems like everybody's taking, because it's easy road. Everybody's taking like the FD run and applying it over everything, like the car tech specs, like they're making even everything, like even Jeff Jones's event, they was like, all right, pretty much just refer to the 2003 rule book, and this is what you got to be for tech and everything. I'm not sure how close they mirrored it, but that's like the easy thing, and then also it's like you don't, your car can run in anything. So some guys is going to kick straight out, is going to filter out. So from a business aspect. What they're trying to do is I can see it, man. They're trying to enrich their product, and they just want to weed motherfuckers out. So if you're not like fully committed, man, it's just not going to be a fun time for you, and you're not going to do well. So they want to make sure those top drivers are in there, and if you're just half-assing, man, it's just not, just go do pro-ams or.
But it keeps you as the driver with the hunger.
Right.
Top 16 drivers round one from last year. Top 16 drivers in standings. You're seeded.
Right.
The other 16 battle.
Right.
You want to battle and do good because then you don't have to qualify.
Right.
You're in there after round one. The top 24. You stay in the 24 mix. You're in there. The other cats got to battle. As a low-tier driver, you would want to get those battle wins to get to the top 24 so that you're in the show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Still got to battle, but you're just in the show. You don't have to battle to battle in. And then the other guys that are in as the top 24, remember, somebody might wake up and get hot in the seeding battles. You might battle in, you got your 2 runs, and now you're hype. So now you're going up against a dude that's been sitting watching for about however long, and you're good to go, ready to rock. Car's good to go. You just found out, hey, the car is a little loose. I want to set it tighter because I'm going up against Ryan Turret, let's say, right? I want my car a little tighter. You're not going in a guessing game coming from qualifying. That's one day, and then a whole nother day comes. You get a couple practice runs, and then you go up against Ryan Turret. You've already done your practice runs. You've done competitive battle runs that are judged. and you say, "Hey, my car's a little loose. I want it a little tighter because we're going up against this dude," and now you've got a competitive run already dialed, and you gave it a little bit more. So you're on 10, and he's just coming in on 5.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And then for the format, because again, I'm pretty sure. So it's generally the way it goes. For the guys who don't know, the events mostly, and it might change again. It's normally been qualifying Saturday, and then like is that correct? Qualifying Saturday, and then like event Sunday, and practice on like the Friday. Is that like the kind of when it's
Yeah,
been?
you got practice Friday.
So that's still gonna stay the same, right? Practice is still gonna go down.
I mean, yeah, everybody
Right.
still needs practice.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
but you got practice Friday. You got practice before qualifying. Then you got qualifying. Then you got practice before um, top 32, and then
Right.
you got top 32.
But that's
So
been
it's a
that was
day.
that was the pat that was that's been the past. But I mean, as far as now, what are they gonna do? Practice and then straight into it, and then like good luck.
I mean, it's the same, just no qualifying.
Right, right. So that's gonna be
Same
so
format,
it's
same
like
same
the
layout.
words is the word. I gotta see it, and then once you see it that first time, because I mean, again, you it's for you. It's like you. I mean, you've been
I
around so
mean,
much, you understand it. So
so think of it like this. So when we do Winter Jam, our Winter Jam, we don't qualify anymore. We just seed every driver in the bracket, split the bracket up, and then run it. And you run 2 different competitive competitions back to back, right? You run it, clear it out, it's done, and then, matter of fact, you have 2 brackets that we run now. You have a losers bracket that you go to. If you lose a battle, you're not out. You just go over to the losers bracket and you battle that bracket down, because you can still go back over to the winners bracket as a loser and battle for the win.
right,
So the way that they kind of change it is almost like a motocross format.
right, right.
So we've been doing that for a couple years. I mean, again, we work very close with Brian Eggert and Chris Yule and these guys. Lontaine just stepped down, but Lontaine used to come and do the stuff with us. So we work shoulder to shoulder, hand in hand with Formula D dudes. That's how they're running it. That's how they came up with a sick format. And this is kind of just them getting an idea of how to run the show quicker with Formula D. They're not going to have the losers bracket going into the winners bracket, but this is a great way to do the losers bracket, or not the losers bracket, but the low tier bracket stepping into the seeded bracket. That's really all it is.
Yeah, so it's definitely gonna it's definitely gonna cut time, and I honestly I see this from a business aspect and everything. I see them because again I like guys who watch for a little bit. I'm like I just watching motocross right now. They're running actually it's over by now, but or they might be in the main event. Main events might be going on there somewhere in somewhere. They're so right now they're racing motocross, supercross, and they've cut a lot of stuff out because they started working with NBC because they got Peacock. And then you got the regular stuff, so Peacock streams online. But sometimes they'll show like the first moto or something on the on NBC. And, NBC is very tight. Like I mean, you got 25-minute slot, you got a 30-minute slot, and there's no extra time. They'll cut that plug and go to the next program.
Yeah.
So I can see them. I can see them possibly. I mean, behind the scenes, man, this is what 20+ years already in the game. They want to, go on national TV and stuff like that. So they gotta trim all that fat and just get to it. You know what I mean? Daytona 500. You know what I'm saying? They gotta get straight to the next. And people want to watch that. So I can see them doing that, man. And maybe like not this year, but maybe next year, there's maybe a mega some mega stream ESPN maybe, I don't know. That will want to pick up a portion of it, or at least the top 32, maybe the top 16, see how that goes, and then they'll go from there. I think that's what they're trying to do, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the other thing. They've got a good thing going with live stream. Live stream actually has a really good well, flow now.
Right.
We've got it a lot better than we did years ago.
Mm.
Um, but how do they package it for TV?
Yeah.
Is TV going to be a watched medium for this?
Mm.
Is there going to be viewers for it? And then one of the problems that I had when I used to watch it on television was it was so out of when you looked at it, it would be like, let's say, oh, here goes some top 32 battles, and they just threw some shit at you real quick. Then
Right.
it's like, all right, now we're into the grade eight.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? That's not how this goes,
Right.
you know? So the average looker that don't know what they're looking at, they're like, oh, yeah, it's great. They go from 32 to 8, and then it's over. It's,
Yeah.
like, no, it's not. It's way different than what you just saw on TV. But they were trying to kill it in the crux of time being of the essence. So I don't know if they would do that if they've got a television package or a Netflix or Hulu package or whatever.
Right.
But I think they're doing pretty good as far as YouTube goes,
Yeah.
and um, that's just kind of how it is nowadays.
Yeah. Because what's gonna
Out
happen
of
too? What'll happen too, man, is you know how it goes, man. When you start going towards the bigger money and stuff like this, then it's gonna be like what you've been doing for like so streaming. I think streaming kicked off like around what like 2000. What would you say 2000 like 10 2011?
you talking about the live stream of
Yeah.
Formula D? Yeah, around there.
So they've again naturally. I remember back in the day, man, it was glitchy. Now I mean, you're looking at this right now. We're watching. This is from a live stream, HD 1080p quality. Like that's expensive ordeal. You got drones. You got cameras. That's not a. This ain't something you can do from Best Buy gear. You know what I'm saying? This is. They already got the production right. TV stuff.
Yeah, it's like a whole television.
They got
compound.
switchboards. Like
Yeah,
I mean, they got everything
yeah.
that NBC's gonna have. But then NBC, that's a whole nother level. That's a whole. They got some. They've been doing this shit for decades. You know what I'm saying? And so they're gonna be like, well, you can send all your camera guys home. We need this. We need that. We need. This. So then you're gonna get into like the battles of who's gonna do what. And,
But they wouldn't allow that because
right,
NBC can say, "Oh man, we do this with this experience of football and basketball and baseball,"
right.
and Formula D could say, "And shut the fuck up," because what's that got to do with drifting?
Because you,
We cover it the
right,
way our fans want to watch
right.
drifting,
And it's our product
and
too.
yeah, and
Yeah,
they've got to. Did you see that drone chasing the Formula One car?
I did it.
Okay, so that's just how motorsports goes now. Is a live moving camera, not the pool zip line cameras that they have for football.
Right,
Because football's very linear. Football's left to right of the frame,
right,
or horizon and back. Whereas drifting goes around a track, racing goes around a track. It's way more exciting watching something like that at high speed and feeling the movement. So that they wouldn't, I'm not sure that they would even allow somebody to come in and say, hey, we're going to send your guys home. It would just be like, nope, we're presenting ourselves as a package.
right.
This is our media group. This is how we run it. We need the bag to run it how we run it and improve it. So
Right.
we need you to foot that bill.
Yeah. I don't know anybody there. You know more people there than I do, but that would be somebody. If somebody did that, that would be like obviously their money does change things, but that would be like poor negotiation because that would be the first thing I'm saying like, hey, my staff is going to maintain where they at. We can mix in your people, but this is how we need to package it because we already had it on. I mean, it flows well online. I mean, camera changes. They're not running the drone following the car. A lot of small.
There's a couple of drones.
Right.
There's
Right.
like 2 or 3 drones
Right.
because we run events with drones a lot. And when I'm up there in the booth and we're dealing with our judges, the cars being lined up by staff at the start, they're letting us know which cars and drivers are pulling up to the line. I'm letting the drone dudes know cars are pulling up to the line. Get your battery changed. Be prepared to fly. Because for the drones that we've been using, they can stay in the air as long as it's nothing holding it up. They can stay in the air for 2 runs, and then they bring the drone back down and they change the battery.
Damn.
Formula D uses a chase drone, and this big high eagle eye shot is like it's a 8 armed drone. It's huge, 8 or 6. But this is the TV drone. It's enormous.
Mm.
And so they're using multiple drones for these kinds of. So this is one drone
Right.
that they use, and the
Yeah.
other one is the larger one. So they got their staff going between those drones, going between the stationary cameras in each corners, all kind of stuff.
Yeah, I can't remember when it became like because now I mean it's like so many is the drone pilots, they got groups and they're good, but this has changed this changed again how motocross, supercross, like it's changed everything. Like the way you could follow a rider through a course, like you couldn't do that before. They had the little, like you said, a little zip line, but that was like if it was enough space to have a gator, drive down. They do it at Daytona for Supercross. They would have the gator drive right next to this one section, and it's like cool to see a panning shot. But this year they didn't do it because the way Daytona track is, they're going to restrict things, and they didn't have the cables and whatever, so they didn't have that shot this year. But this drone, man, like you can they got dudes doing the backwoods shit, the trail riding. A good pilot can follow a dude through that thing, and you can get coverage like you never got before. So now you can't go backwards. You can't go to a regular ass.
Nah, yeah, you can't.
That's boring now. So people want to get that drone
What's
shot.
cool is that big ass drone. One guy's the pilot and one guy is the media operator. So one dude is just flying. The other dude is on a whole nother control and gimbal controlling the camera. So it's pretty much like a helicopter now. You got the pilot and you got the guy operating the lens. So it's pretty dope. You can get some pretty dynamic shots because the one guy's not worried about keeping shit in frame.
Right.
He's just flying through the obstacles, trees, fences, flags, whatever. The other guy, he's the one keeping the shot in frame. So it's really dope. You can't replace that with the line because the line is just getting pulled and the camera operators just try to rise and level and shit like that. So yeah, I mean it's pretty dope. Like I said, Formula One is extremely hard to chase because they accelerate so fast. Having that new drone that Red Bull put some money in to build, and that drone goes about 212 miles an hour. And it's built like a little missile because it's got to be aerodynamic to that point because it's going so fast. But they made the battery use last a whole lap of Silverstone. So that's pretty good, dude, if you've got a drone that's traveling at maximum power for at least 2 minutes. That can change the way that a lot of these sports are filmed. This kind of shit right here
you cannot
is
get
done.
That's like video game shit now, man.
Yeah, and this
like,
is done with just a
Gran Turismo
regular
1 intro shit.
Yeah, this is just done with a regular drone.
Yeah,
with,
you can see them too. That's just wild as a driver too. When you get used to it now, when you hear this buzz and shit, and like you look this fucking drone looking at you and shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. I got some videos. I got some videos that I was just chilling and I'm sideways, and you just start
like
hearing that high.
drone,
yeah, I got a drone because I was just sliding, just chilling so comfortably, going around the corner at such a moderate pace, just cooling. And the dude flew the drone from my passenger side, went around the back of my car, and sat right at my wheel. And then I'm just hearing out my window. I looked and saw the drone. When I looked and saw the drone, then I floored it, and you could see my car accelerate and run from him. And he had to get up and pick up some speed. It was pretty sick, but
it's definitely some collisions though.
Oh, I've seen a lot of drones. There's videos of drones going inside people's cars. Yeah, I mean it happens, but it's cool. Right. This is kind of the only sport that's like you got a projectile flying around you, and it's cool. It's legit. It's all right to do.
Yeah, because you're on a fucking dirt bike and you jump and that shit just smash you in the chest. Cause
imagine that.
Like you got your neck open right there. Them blades are. You can cut some shit up with those blades, man. They spin very quick, man. But dude, like all this, what we're getting at, guys, is all this is parameters and things that's gonna. There's a reason for this. This is not just because I mean the show's been a show for years. So I mean, without me being business minded, you kind of see you see the implementation before like the big thing comes down. So It probably got with a major network. I mean, I remember back in the day again, like it was on Speed TV. So they
B
probably
channel, yeah.
yeah they
It
probably
started on G4.
right.
It started on G4. Then it went to Speed. Then it went to, I think it was something like NBC or some dumb shit. That's
Mm,
when it was over with, though.
mm,
And then it was just strictly YouTube.
right.
Um, but yeah, it was NBC Sports or something.
Oh, so
But
they
I mean,
my bad. So
the shit got to change.
okay. I didn't know they actually again man. It was a point in time where like I keep saying this shit, man. But the last when I watched the last guy that won was I think who was his name, man. He does rally and stuff now. He's a teacher now. Um, yeah, I forgot his name, man. Goddamn. But Faust.
Tanner?
Yeah,
Yeah, Tanner.
yeah. So Tanner, that was a lot like until me and Lex started chatting like a few years ago and like started doing some reviews. Yeah. So when I think about a year before LZ came in, ironically, we started like chatting on it and stuff like that, and I was kind of getting back engaged. So it was like during a little bit during like I think it's the pandemic or the pandemic was winding down, so we started doing those and everything. But I kind of been so I missed the whole Dean thing, the whole like all that Dean. Like I didn't see none of that stuff, man, and everything. So I was a little bit away, but yeah, it's definitely they're in a short again, guys going and check it out. The rule book, they're just slimming down. And you see stuff like this, you see the effect before the cause, if that makes sense. You'll see certain things being implemented, rules being changed, and as far as I'm seeing, all the drivers are like cool. I didn't see a single driver.
I mean, yeah, it gets to the battle. A driver wants to battle. A driver don't want to break his car and not make it through qualifying to not get into the battle. And a driver wants to battle.
I went there when
these guys.
My bad, go.
Oh yeah, these guys going and they're putting a lot of power down and blow an engine, break some drivetrain that they don't have replacement parts for, and or they can't get it done before their next qualifying run, which puts them out of the event. You don't want that as a driver.
Right.
That's not what you want. So this is something that gets them into the battle. If they're going to lose, at least I lost on the head up. I lost on the run. I lost on a fade. I didn't make it work. And, hey, it just is what it is.
Right.
Those that can get through, now they're hot and they're ready to rock. They're warmed up. And hopefully that gives them more of a momentum swing or advantage to, go into the next battle with more confidence instead of just like, oh, shit, I wonder if he's got my number dialed today,
Right. Have you seen it? Because I kind of been FD's kind of been like the only thing I've been kind of paying attention to because I have like aspirations to go through the WitchCon for promotion and whatever and do my thing. But is there anybody else like that DMC or is there any other orgs that already run the straight tandem battles or everybody's pretty much doing the same qualifying and stuff like that? Is anybody else doing that yet or just? They're just trying to start something.
I mean,
that
I've seen some stuff, but I mean,
of note,
there's qualifying that happens,
right?
So, yeah, it's not. There are events that do just get straight to the battle, but there's qualifying runs everywhere still.
I think,
but a lot of other series have a better show.
Right. So I can see them because it's wild, man. You'll see Japanese timelines like they're frothing to come to FD events. Like if you see like now they're gonna have the guy his car is sitting right under me, Kenji Yamanaka. Kenji Yamanaka is going to be a judge now, and he's been over there a bunch. And again, he drove the Tomy Power car, which I'm about to sell, And yeah, man, you see these guys like, yeah, man, and everybody's like, oh, I want to go. It's like that is the opposite. It's like before everybody wanted to go to Japan. Now it's like they are seeing that, the parts and these fucking V8s and they're making this power and they're making a lot of it and they got the cheaper parts. That's why I got a Corvette on the way is because it's just more feasible to make a lot. Your barrier to entry is shorter with a car that can make 600 horsepower with a cam and some headers. And you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't need all the, boost is cool, You know what I'm saying? They got all that shit plus boost. You know what I'm saying? I was talking about NA to make 5-6 horsepower NA. So
I
yeah,
mean, but take a look at what Luke Fink just did at Hot Pit.
mm,
All these FD hopefuls with their big, powerful cars and, you know, stripped out rear ends and quick changes and all that shit. And Luke is in a stock C6 vet.
mm. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
didn't see that before.
doing it up too.
Mm,
I mean, there's that's going to be something that's going to change.
right,
But FD is going to stay the way FD is. But there's going to be a lot of series and things like that that are going to come along later.
right.
All of this big power, big dumbass car shit is going to change.
That's why I didn't. That's why everybody's. I'm like, bro, it's not that I can't build it or I've already spent enough money doing stuff. I just personally don't want to do that. I don't want to. That's not my. I don't know, man. That's just not what I don't. When you strip everything down, dude, this is all a fucking very expensive hobby, and it feeds people egos. That's I mean that's that we
Right.
and everybody has an ego. Some people are bigger than others, but it's like I already know at the end, right as we sit right now. I ain't gotta do another event, and you ain't gotta do another event, but we've already been proven to multiple people that we can wheel a car. That's not even a question.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's not even a question. If they didn't know, then they found out at the event when you just drove all the supers, like, oh, this guy, it looks like he would take my purse, but he's wheeling his car. You know what I mean? You see him on the street. You across the street and shit because he's this big fucking 6 foot plus black dude and shit. And now you're like,
they said
you don't fit the mold.
They said dude's built like a linebacker, but he was the nicest motherfucker.
Yeah.
God damn, you can drive.
Right. You don't fit the mold, man. So it's like it's cool when you're in the airplane and whatever, and people just don't even know what you do. And that's everybody in the airplane got different skills and badass is something. You know what I mean? But it's like, yeah, man. You see that, man, and so with that event again, I was like kind of pissed off for a little bit at Okinawa, like for a second, and I'm like, man, all these fucking new people. Some people ain't seen me drive, so they think that's what I do. And that as a person that can drive, that does like fuck, dude. I wanted to put on the show. They were gonna have open sessions, but time constraints had to be closed and out of there by 5, so we couldn't do that. Because the open session, I was just go out there and fucking let it like rock. You know what I'm saying? This, freestyle. But there was what it was, and I wasn't the only one with a bar. It was like 17 drivers plus there, more than that with borrowed cars, and they all some of them made it to the actually one guy won the fucking thing, so that wasn't an excuse, man. I didn't do good. So, but yeah, man, shit's definitely gonna change. But for me personally, while it would be cool to have myself there on this live stream right there. But as you see, Joan. These guys are coming from Brazil. They don't got a lot of time. He can drive way better than that, but this was what it was. You know what I mean? He's not comfortable on the track. He's off the mark. But but everybody knows where he's from. Like he can drive. That's not a question of it. It's just that moment didn't go well. Then you got to come up with all the excuses of what happened if you got sponsors like that. And luckily I don't have any, so I had to fucking make excuses to nobody. I just didn't qualify.
Right.
But yeah, man. So for me, I'm only like I contacted the guys for the hot pit thing, but it was like, yeah, it's already closed and which it wasn't. I just wasn't plugged in enough, and also they were saying you got to have this car and this, and it was some other stuff too. So it's so shit like that. I'm like, I'll get in where I can get in. There's people there. I can promote my shit and do what I got to do. So. Personally, man, like the event I just did in Okinawa, there's Philippine one coming out, there's one in Thailand. Like FaceTime is FaceTime. I maybe I don't get on an FD stage in the States, but it is what it is, man. I'm not gonna kill myself to get there. And then just like JTP, we chatted on the trailer. It's like, yeah, that was cool. It helped my business, but it's like at the end of the day, man, like the monies don't add up. You know what I'm saying? The money and the time invested starts not to add up. And it's like, are you cool with showing face, or what do you want to do with this, man? Like he told you, like, hey man, I don't know if you want to fuck around with this shit, man, for real. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's and that's not saying that you can't do it. It's just like,
what are
you doing it for? Like, what do you, so some of these guys are gonna start. I think people are gonna start dropping out, man. and then they're gonna
It's all about how much money you're going to put
right,
into it, how much backing you can get, and how
right.
strong your
So
media campaign is.
right,
It's not really about the driving anymore. It is for the results,
right,
and that's what my goal was. And Justin knew that it was changing direction from that. It's
right.
not about putting the results. You can put the results up, but you need a whole lot of dollars to go ahead and campaign the season
Yeah,
and do everything.
yeah.
So, like Joao is figuring out, like. Um, uh, Federico Sharifo's figuring out
Mm,
all these dudes that come internationally to run a program. If you do not have success, you're literally sending money
right.
at this thing that's not producing a
And
result.
all you
You're
get
not
is all you
getting,
get is a cool picture. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
that's what I was gonna say.
you get a cool
You're not
picture,
getting the
then your
media.
shit blows up.
You're not getting the media for your sponsors. You're not getting enough opportunity for your fans to be entertained
Mm,
by your driving. It's a tough road, but Justin knew it was a better road for me to do what I'm doing, what I've been doing for the last 12, 15 years. You know what I
mm,
mean?
mm.
Shit, damn, yeah, it has been 15. Fuck, since '09, yeah. So, it is what it is. I found great success doing what I'm doing. You know, shit, Toyota even reached out, shot me another date to lock me in.
Mm.
Who knows? That could be a new thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So
Um,
there's this is this everybody sees like the I posted within somebody's post when they were 2 weeks ago and they was going on a mechanic pay thing and I tagged up Stan Bro and I was like this is an example of a dude who didn't just what I mean
oh
yeah I
yeah,
mean
I saw that. I
who
saw
didn't
that. I
who
saw
didn't just
that.
fucking be
Yeah.
like oh I'm gonna get a badge and go on IG and do this and that. He was lining himself up to do what he's doing now. You know what I'm saying? And everybody else in that fucking pit had that opportunity to line shit up like that. You know what I mean? Maybe they didn't win a championship, but that wasn't the case. People just seen like, him banging it out with Essa, a single dude. Like if this guy can do this by himself, he don't need 5 other people. Like
Right.
let's hire him. So I don't know the I probably go back in the podcast and with Stan Bro and he'll see how he got to the Falcon off road thing. But essentially they already knew they were going to close up and not support drifting anymore because it just was not you weren't making the money. The ROI wasn't there. And
I mean, yeah, they kind of took a step back from motorsports and everything.
yeah,
They've been an established name for a while, and yeah, it's mostly been off-road motorcycles. Dunlop on the motorcycle side because
right,
Falcon's Dunlop.
mm,
Um, so yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting.
right,
It's weird to not see the Falcon scallops in motorsports. You
mm,
do still see the Falcon, like the nameplate, the Falcon on cars, but
right,
not to see the scallops anywhere. It's kind of awkward, but yeah, I mean, all roads lead to something.
yeah,
And Stan put his grind time in the pits, and you know, now he's living a great opportunity for doing what he's doing.
hmm
And it's kind of like you've interned in the motorsports.
right,
A lot of those guys I saw from the situation you're talking about, the dude not paying guys, right?
right. And then it just turned into
Yeah,
like all the mechanics came out of the woodwork like, yeah, this guy, god
yeah.
damn son, watching this
And
car, fuck that,
see that right there, Mohan don't make it, so
yeah,
his weekend's over with. Because let's say this is first run, he ain't getting that car back together for second run.
no,
That's over with. His weekend's over.
double
So
smash,
you might as well do that in battle. You know what I'm saying? Get a battle off
oh yeah, I remember that,
instead of
but yeah.
knock your XXR into pieces in the middle of
Yeah,
Long Beach.
that
You know what I
definitely in
mean?
a yeah man that yeah man but that shit right there like because I know for sure I've told myself hey man I'm going to do about 80% when in it and when you're doing that shit that's a bad thing like I'm because I want to milk it. 1 second buddy what do you want okay go down walk down the
Yeah,
stairs buddy
it's all good.
but the
Good.
but yeah man it's like I've been like in that situation where like I car that ran great for practice and qualifying then I get to the off and this and this like fuck dude I had all that running time everything was straight and then now when I need you your shit ain't going right and then I don't got time to fix it man so like that I've been in there like I'm gonna do about 90-80% safe run get somewhere in the zones and then like that's a whole You're not
mean,
driving hard right there.
one of my most shining driving times at Top Drift, Walt James Stadium, I was murking the whole day.
Mm.
Guys were looking like, damn, yo, he's gonna qualify really fucking high.
Mm.
He's gonna be a tough one to battle. He's gonna do good. And then I broke my differential on
Mm.
qualifying run number one.
Mm.
Diff broke. I did a 1-2 shift and I went to initiate, and before I initiated, the diff exploded.
Mm.
And my homeboy was like, "Yo, here, take my car." I pulled my car in, jumped in his car. We tried to make it work, but
Not enough
Charlie
time.
was like, "Nah, we can't do that."
Right.
So
Yeah.
weekend was over. You know,
Yeah.
whole weekend I battled down through some issues. Went to parts stores everywhere to get oil coolers, fix the issue with that, all kind of shit, just for me to feel great all through practice, feel confident as hell. I probably had 20 runs that were almost flawless.
Mm.
Taka was like, yeah, he's gonna be right around 85 or 90 on qualifying, because guys were in the pit asking him, "Hey, what do you think he's about to do?" Taka's like, he's about 85 or 90. He's right in that area for qualifying. Don't know who would have qualified higher or lower,
Mm.
but just saying it was like I was putting down 85 or 90 as to what they wanted to see. Soon as I'm feeling hype, like, yeah, I'm about to go lay down a nice solid heater on the first run, and then I'm gonna give him some urine and mean on the second run. I ain't even get through the first run.
Right. And drifting, man, was wild, because even like even it's still in that phase where, like, just what you said, like getting parts. You don't see too many other.
There's the track right there. This is the track I broke on.
Oh yeah.
That's hilarious. It's real purple.
You don't see too many like if F1 NASCAR, if something happens, you're not fucking running to Home Depot and grabbing some shit. Like, it's either there, you already got a spare fucking engine set and everything you need. So there's just levels, right? So like, in practice, I go and spin the very first lap, because I didn't drive the car at all. First lap out, I got e-brake in the front, like there was no space, and I had threw camber arms on it. When the camber arm, I put them on there and pushed it back, and it pushed the arm back like this, or pushed the caster back, and there was no adjustable caster, so I couldn't pull the wheel back forward. So now I got the whole this fucking thing sticking out, which I'm not sure if you hammered Toyota metal before. Toyota metal is extremely hard, like it's really hard. And you can't just bang on
You're
it.
talking about the wheel, the sweep angle was going back.
It's going back. So it was all up in the fucking the wheel well, and it was this big thing sticking out. So I was like, all right, dude. Well, it's the first. I mean, I was like, all right. And they were Okinawa, so they were like a little bit. I'm like, all right, dude. Well, that's that. This is what I gotta do. Where's the closest home center? I had to go to get a hammer, some cut wheels, a extension cord to run it down from the power pole, and this was all in like a minute. They were like, oh, okay. I'm like, they're just Okinawa was a little bit different, and I'm like, hey, this is what I need. Then, so I'm the driver. I got a driver in my pit crew. We hop in the car, we leave the car there, and we go to the store and get the stuff and come back. So like, Drifter still has that, and this is a pro-am competition, man. And I'm like, all right, I didn't tell nobody I'm going anywhere. It's practice, so it's on me if I'm not out there. And I get back in time, but I got back in time to run it like a couple more times, but. Then there was power, so I got the angle shit situated, but then bam, there's no traction was going haywire, so I had traction, no traction. The power was like power, no, it was just on off. So the ECU was fighting itself because the last person took the recirculation valve off on the stock ECU, and when you do that shit, ECU's like, hey, we're not used to seeing this error, we're used to seeing this. So luckily we got another throttle body that night from my buddy's junkyard. And I took the recirculation off, put that shit on, and then I had more power, but it was still like it was iffy. And then the fucking last practice run, the last qualifying run, I had fucking full power for the first time the whole weekend. And then I come into the last zone with more speed than I came in all day. In a sense, I just over rotated off the too much momentum. And then when I try to flick it back, I was too deep in the zone, and I washed it and it flat spun. And that was it. And I'm like, fuck, dude. And everybody's like, dude, that was the best run all week. I'm like, just no more time now. There's no more time now, man. So it's like that shit like that is like, it's part of it. It's a judge sport, but when it's driver's seat if you qualified or not. It's like, nope. Because they was like, what do you think? I'm like, I didn't qualify because I wouldn't have qualified that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I watch somebody judge that, I'm not, first run is incomplete, and then the second run you almost complete, and then you spin in the last zone. Incomplete.
Yeah, when I judge guys like that
Yeah.
in some of these comp runs, if it's close between two dudes, I'm thinking in my head who's going to be more consistent.
Right. Yeah, right.
Hmm.
And that's what they're looking at because the qualifying, what people who don't know, qualifying is also looking for safety, man. Like if they see a guy all fucking sketchy and shit like that, he's gonna do that same shit more than likely, and that's not based on him. If it's based on him, then he needs to go back down. But if it's car related, sometimes guys' angles fucked up or the power's on and off. So my situation was literally like power off. It was just like stopping the drift, which is dangerous. If you got another car behind you full steam, like Toshi, who's pretty much like Nakamura style, he's fucking lifting up. He's tripoding on a flat ground. That's how
Yeah.
he's killing it. And then you got my shit where it's power on, power off. Then he's smashing into my shit. Now my car is fucked. His car is fucked. And that's what the judges, they're looking out to make. They want to save. If it makes sense, guys, to be safe when you're doing the wildest shit ever. You know what I'm saying? But you want to keep it, keep it as safe as possible. That everybody makes it through. Good show for the crowd, and everybody's shit is safe at the end of the day. So there's measures there. So if you look bad, you're just not going to qualify. So it's no hard feelings. I didn't have any hard feelings. I chopped up with Robbie and the judges right after it, and they were like, cool. There's no animosity there, unless it is. Sometimes there's a bad call. They straight to me is like no protesting, straight up. We ain't got time for that shit. It's like Robbie is like no protesting, and everybody kind of looking around like, all right, cool. So it is what it is, and ain't no protesting required. You know what you did, and everybody else watching know what you did. So there's 32 other judges right there. So you don't need 30 other judges right there. So yeah, man, cool stuff and everything, man. I just wanted to, I mean, again, man, to kind of summarize on it, man, because I just want to talk a little bit about it, and obviously we went off on a tangent. We kept it related.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, and I got
Yeah, it's all good.
Huh?
Overall, man, do you, like you said, you already said it's a good thing, man. But do you see other major organizations following suit within a year or two?
Absolutely. Everybody's gonna. But see, the thing is Formula D's kind of running neck and neck. They're kind of losing the reign on being the most popular or being the stronghold in the world.
Shit, right?
Europe shit is
right, because it ain't
killing.
and you're wild. People are like, "Wow, Japan is they still use fax machines, so let's keep it at that."
European shit is killing it. So
man.
Formula D's got to, and I kind of think that's why they're improving run of show and making more battles,
right?
Because simply it's more shit cracking elsewhere, and we'll see how it works this year.
Right, because FD Japan is definitely going to probably follow suit. Tire spinning, all that stuff, like you say, you just broke your different qualifying. That's save all the energy and put it there. So I was kind of like on the fence, but actually talking to you about it, I'm fully into it, man. It'll make the product better, and it'll push it up there, man. So again, man, I don't want take too much more of your time and everything. And guys, there we just wanted to chop it up and have. I'm pretty sure somebody else has probably done a podcast about it, but the online chatter is going to be what it's going to be. Some people want to like it, and the guys, of course, who don't benefit from it, they're not going to like it because it's going to pretty much force them out or make them up their game or take the shit more serious. So if you're going to do this, man, like, again, I'm not going to come to FD to promote my wheels. You know what I'm saying? I could do that at a grassroots event or like a pro-am event, but that's a lot of money to spend to try to promote like a body kit or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's not my goal. And that's my goal is to promote my business by way of driving and then promote my stuff. So I promote my wheels down there, and we were chopping up and doing other business, man. So those type of events is what I'm after. And once I get the money up and everything and this infrastructure is good and I got support over there where I can throw money out and I'm not trying to budget, then I will go towards that. But for me personally, as a pro license holder, I'm not spending $10K to show face, man. Fuck that. Straight up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And if you don't think guys are spending $10K in one weekend, that might be like that's like, you know what I mean, I don't know how FD runs, but I'm thinking $10K a weekend. Maybe. I'm not sure, man. What do you think? Was higher than that? Oh, okay. So Lexis saying higher than that. I mean, without no names, man. But what is the average what is the average you're spending on the weekend? Everything, crew, hotels, tires, gas, fuel, parts. What are you spending?
I mean, think of if you have a great weekend, no crashes,
Yeah,
no casualties.
yeah,
I mean, shit, crew, hotel, feeding everybody, flights, your own, transporting the car.
hookers, strippers.
Shit, bro. Nah, hell nah.
You ain't got time for that.
Nah, ain't no time for the
Yeah.
hoes, man.
Yeah, shit.
Um,
I didn't know they got they saying they didn't want the guys to drink. I was like, that's I mean, I don't drink, but you're not paying
bro,
me, but you got
we
time
go
to
to
leave.
enough.
Yeah,
We go to enough grassroots events where people are drunk that do
mm,
drink. These festival events where people are drunk and do drink.
yeah. We ain't got
Some
time for that.
guys can, some guys can operate with it. Some guys cannot. But we
Right,
don't want to. We don't want to have that gamble with these $300,000 cars going
right,
80 miles an hour at a wall.
right.
That's not the vibe. We don't want to cause
Yeah,
any extra risk. So, yeah, don't have a taste of shit. You know
right,
what I'm saying? Have that taste. And people do drink.
right,
People do drink. But in the evening,
right,
after it's over with,
right.
you sweat that shit out, piss it out, whatever. By the morning, you're good. So cats do drink, but still, they got it. It's just you have to put that in the
It's
rule
pro.
book.
You got to be.
Because when
You got
the
to.
situation comes up and somebody is under the influence,
It's a
you got to
problem.
get the fuck up out of here.
Yeah, it's a problem. We gotta look at F1 and where they're taking, where they're trying to go towards F1 and all that. They will never probably be there because this is that's a whole different thing. But you're not gonna see F1 dude walking around in a pitch like stoned and shit. It's just not a good look, man. So they're trying to bring it up, man. Again, like I said before when we got started, so we did the podcast, so we're only this is only an hour and 2 minutes into it with the ads and everything. And this total time is 2 hours 47 minutes. So we just talked and did a whole podcast, and they're not even through the whole. They're not even through all the drivers. So this is a good example to see. This is all gonna be gone. This whole 2 hours here, minus the ads and everything, maybe 2 hours and 20 minutes. This is all gonna be gone, man. So they're gonna get straight to it and jam. So again, I'm looking forward to seeing how it's gonna play out. I already know. I'm looking forward to because I know it's gonna be some drama straight at the top. There's gonna be drama. It's gonna be drama. There's going to be people saying this. Why the fuck's he there? Why is he there? It's going to come down to pure results. So the first round is going to be what it's going to be because they got to get it going. And the rules, if you look at the rule book, is written based off the previous round, which means there's no previous round for the first round. So the rules are written off the previous round. So from that first round, it'll be weird. Second round from that, and then every year after that, it's already going to be locked in. So
every event after that, yeah,
right.
You're going to be standings first round, then seeded, and then it's just 16 battle every time to get people in.
Oh, that's when LZ borrowed Witchcom's car.
That's the same card. They just destroyed it.
That's right. That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That he changed. Oh, that's right. Yeah. This was when he went to RTR. This is the RTR year, so first year. But again, guys, Lex, hey, take care of your stuff, man. Again, thanks for the time. Guys are there again.
Sir.
As always, check out Lex on YouTube, KOE Family. Always, I'll say one of the most underrated channels out there. There's a lot of them out there like that. And then on Instagram, Lex_King_24. Check them out there. And this is going to be Richmond, California, like we say all the time. Not from Richmond, VA. Stuff like that. You want to be in the right spot and everything. So again, guys, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully it's been a little bit informative, loosely, but go read for yourself because we ain't in fucking kindergarten. You read to yourself. We ain't reading to you and everything. So, and then for the guys that don't benefit, man, if there's any drivers out there watching, man, just go do some other shit, man. You don't have to do. Yeah, everybody wants to be on the D1 GP, FD USA, FD Japan stage, the DMC or whatever they're doing over there, man. There's a lot of shit going on, and at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, it's the same results, good vibes. We burning tires, and at the end of the day, everybody's looking at us like we're fucking idiots because we're burning tires on these expensive ass cars and everything. So, you know what I mean, just keep that in mind too. You know what I mean, it doesn't matter. JR and everybody doing their thing. Some guy in F1's like, what the fuck's this guy doing? And they're fully up for it. You know what I'm saying? They got money and investors and stuff in there, man. But also looking in. So I guess we gotta, we ain't gonna like each other, but you gotta stick together a little bit because we're all doing the same shit, man. So
yes, sir.
Yeah, man. But again, guys, thank you for tuning in. It's gonna be Dine sign off from South Japan. Lex from California. See you guys later. Peace.
Later.